afternoon, everyone. I know it's been a long day, so hopefully my prediction will be light, less details heavy. I'm very excited to share it with you. Sorry, that was a compliment. Before I give you my prediction, I wanted to share with you what shocked me the most when I arrived in Sydney from London back in 2012. It was price of tomato. It was $9 per kilogram in Sydney, while in London at the time I could get it for 99 cents. So that's how my hyper-focus on Australian food price and Australian food inflation started. And today, my prediction is that Australian food prices will continue rising beyond our expectations. Beyond our expectations, so we're now at about 7.8 when we talk about food and non-alcoholic beverages CPI. Some econometric models predict it will go down to 1.5% next year. I predict it will trend at about 9% at the end of next year. That's my younger son, Enzo. He loves grocery shopping. He's a bit older now, so we talk about prices and how you have to actually work in order to buy something. But the question to you, who knows how much they spend on grocery shopping per month? Oh, okay. Quite a few. Enzo knows, so it's about $864 per month on average for an Australian family. And it's about 60% increase compared to last year, 60% increase. Now, we all know we're living now in high inflationary environment. That's not surprising. What's interesting, if we look at this chart, we see that this trend is not a new trend. It's not short-term trend. And we heard today, I'm sure, many times, the term sticky inflation. That's what everyone is talking about. Now, from my perspective, it's also about understanding what are the factors, why is it happening. In my opinion, 3 factors worth considering. One, very challenging geopolitical environment globally. Disruption of supply chain as a result of this, increasing transportation cost and rising commodity prices. Second, more frequent and more extreme weather events. When I talk about climate change, sometimes people say, what climate change? So I'm not saying climate change, but I'm saying more frequent extreme weather events. We cannot deny that this is happening. As a result of this, also disruption of global value chain. Not going to go into details on this, but happy to talk about this separately. And finally, we're talking about scarce resources, scarce land and water resources. So few weeks ago, there was an article in AFR, excellent article, I love agriculture, saying that Australian farmland is or has been a quiet achiever. Why? Because it outperformed equities. Sorry, my equity colleagues. It did outperform equities in Australia and globally over 1, 5, 10, and 20 years. If we look at this chart, the trend line, you'll see that price for Australian farmland per hectare increased by about 195% over a decade. I'll add to this that value of water entitlements in Australia, water entitlements allocated to irrigators, increased by 250% over the same period. Now, as an asset class, agriculture has low, sometimes negative correlation to most asset classes. It has embedded inflation protection in its investment return, and it can deliver fairly stable, well, we can see here the value, fairly stable capital growth over a longer period of time with income. Fascinating asset class. When I look at all this, I ask myself, what are the long-term tailwinds that are supporting these trends, that are supporting this picture. And to me, it's very simple. Global population will continue growing. We hit 8 billion mark well ahead of all predictions. Secondly, we are talking about very attractive investment environment in the Australian market. And I added here, the Costa Group article in AFR again. Costa Group last month announced that they're likely to go private. There will be probably some other businesses who'd follow and partner with a global private equity group. There will be more foreign investors coming to Australia, buying farmland, buying agriculture businesses or agriculture assets. That's just inevitable. It will be all happening. So what does it mean to you as investors, this prediction? What does it mean? I can share with you what I do as a portfolio manager, invest in alternative assets. And water rights, water entitlements, and investments in agriculture assets account for over 25% of my portfolio. And that's not all. I can also invest in this trend via private equity. I chose a few examples here. Retail Zoo, probably many of you are familiar. It's a business that owns food chains such as Betty's Burgers and Boost Juice. And Birch & White is a Sydney-based manufacturer of condiments and desserts. So if you are already spending today 60% more on your monthly grocery shopping, I suggest you look into investment opportunities and think how to tap into this very attractive long-term theme that is going to stay here for a while. Thank you.